intro for the next show. Live in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to the REI Wholesale Academy, and we are on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We are going to be talking about pipelines equaling profit today. You know, that's what our topic is going to be. We're going to be discussing that. Right now, I just kind of want to talk about what we got going on and daily habits, which, with everything that's going on right now in the world, it's not even in our country or in our state or anything like that. It's the world, Craig. How is that affecting everything we do? How is it affecting our daily habits from before? And for myself, I recently, Ceci and I just had a baby. She's literally about 2 months old right now, 2 months and like 3 days. She was born January 21st. So yeah, 2 months and 4 days. So that took a big toll on my daily routine because I would usually wake up about 5:15 in the morning, start getting ready, take a quick shower, and try to be out the door. Like literally, I'd have the alarm go off at 5 and have another, and then that was my 15-minute warning. And then at 5:15, another alarm would go off. I knew I had to get up right when that second alarm went off, go jump in the shower, so I could be and take a quick shower because I take another shower when I get back from the gym. So I just take a quick shower to get ready to be out the door by 5:30, so I could be at the gym door by 6 when they open their doors. So I could work out till about 7. And then, workout, my workout usually consists of about 20 minutes cardio, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of actual exercise, so 20 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of working out like weights, either shoulder, back, whatever the routine was for the day, and then finish with 5 to 10 minutes in the sauna, and then be out the door from the gym, heading home to be able to get the kids off to school, and then, and then on those days that I went to the gym, Ceci would get the kids up, and then when I got back, either, I would take them to school or she would, or something like that. And then you have family time throughout the day, and then, every day we're doing market research. Every day we're having to work on our marketing and everything like that, right? So the way that has affected this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 virus has affected our daily routines is, and I hear it all over the place on Facebook. I'm watching people and they're like, yeah, this social distancing, I need some social distancing from my fridge because all I'm doing is eating all day. Like I'm eating 5 times a day, 10 times a day, and taking 13 naps or whatever it is. And I'm seeing that from multiple people, not just one or two. So that obviously is affecting people's daily routines, daily habits, right? So I was going to the gym at night. So starting to shift up because of the baby, having to go to the gym at night. I would usually go about 9 o'clock, leave the house at 9 o'clock to be there by 9:30, to work out till 10:30, to be home by 11 or so. Now with this virus and everything, it's throwing everything off. Everybody's at home all day. And everything kind of runs together. I posted on my Facebook, we were having lunch and fixing lunch, and I took a little video of the baby and the kids and Ceci in the kitchen, and we're getting ready for lunch and stuff. And it was like, I was like, this quarantine life, has us, working from home, schooling from home, playing from home, family time, whatever. And it's all looking the same. It's all running together. And it's very true. If you're not careful with that, your day can run together, and the downfall of that is you could get nothing done. For the first couple of days of this being at home and trying to stay out of the public and everything like that, I found that I was taking some more naps. I was not wanting to get up as early. I always stay up late. So I usually go to bed about 1, 2 in the morning, sometimes 3 in the morning, because when I get in a zone working on marketing or researching something or working on some content for our clients and students, our mastermind group, and that kind of stuff, time just gets away from you, and I end up working late. But I was always good about still getting up to go to the gym when I went to the gym, or still getting up at 7 because we got to get up at 7, got to get the kids ready, got to get them dressed, got to get them breakfast, got to get them off to school. That wasn't going to change, and that had to be done every day. But when you don't really have to be somewhere or really do something by those timelines, things just kind of get get away from you, right? You just kind of you spend more time, you sleep a little bit longer. So then by the time I knew it, I was like those first couple of days, I was like, man, it's 10:30 in the morning. It's 11 in the morning and I'm just now getting up. Granted I did go to sleep late, but I went to sleep late every day and I was still getting up on time. It was more the fact that I knew that there was no specific time. I didn't have to be at the office by 9 o'clock. So I didn't have to go get the kids ready at 7, take a shower, drop them off at school, head to the office, and that routine that I was used to, right? So, I had to start in my mind, telling myself, okay, look, you have to dedicate time, right? So, you have to dedicate your workout time. So yesterday the Ceci actually is homeschooling the kids. So with that being said, we have 3 little ones at the house that she's homeschooling. So she's doing, like first, second, third grade all at the same time, right? So she's being a first, second, third grade teacher right there. And luckily we have a home office built out for everything. So she has a place to do that. But for PE, for physical education time, she took them jogging in the neighborhood, and she had the baby in the stroller, went out running with them, and then went in the backyard, and we have a basketball goal in the backyard. They're kind of playing around. So when I got back, I was like even thinking about it. I went out there and they were back there, and I was like, I picked up the basketball, started dribbling around, started just kind of doing stuff to make myself sweat, doing stuff to make myself work out a little bit, to get some kind of physical workout in, right? Because I haven't been going to the gym because of the virus and everything like that. And those of you that know me, I mean, I used to weigh almost 300 pounds about 5-6 years ago. And then I got diagnosed with diabetes, and I literally lost 75 pounds in 1 year. And that consisted of getting a personal trainer, who I got a really good personal trainer, Scott Langham, who really put it to me, like, made me work out really hardcore. I got a personal nutritionist, Keith Klein, and I had a food service that would make my food, meal prep it, and deliver it to me on Friday so I could eat every 3 hours. And that's how I lost that 75 pounds that year. So working out is very important, and I noticed that I was slacking on that. So I'm now putting time in there for myself to make sure I'm getting my workouts in. Make sure we have family time. Last night we sat down and watched the Addams Family as a group all together, spending some family time together. Even if it's just being around each other. Plus, we're around each other all day long, but that dedicated time where you're not focusing on schoolwork or focusing on something else and you're just around each other. The dedicated time to make sure we're still doing market research. My acquisition team isn't with me, but they're still asking me about deals and about comps and about evaluating stuff. So I'm still having to do that, and dedicated time to setting up our marketing campaigns, right? Because if we don't do that, that'll have an effect in the future. Like Gabe was here a little while ago talking about how that can affect you 3 months down the road. So making sure we're having all that going. So make sure that you're taking the time and concentrating on all those aspects of your daily routine and habits. So this is REI Wholesale Academy, and we'll be right back with more on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Tranquility tea, jasmine, jade citrus tea, 2 tablespoons of honey, and then I just put a little bit of lemonade in there. Oh man, it's awesome, and like helps with my throat and everything. Because I've had a cough for years. I used to smoke and quit doing that and everything. So yeah, All right, whenever you're ready. Welcome back, guys, to REI Wholesale Academy. I am AC Ramos. Clay Cahoon is not with us today. He's taking care of his girlfriend, V, who has an ear infection. And V, I hope you get better and feel better soon. And we are on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. And same network, this is Mr. Texas Real Estate, Jason Bible, and Robert Orfino. They are the masterminds behind this network, and very grateful for them, and have put together a great lineup of influencers, from new construction with Curtis Warden and his show Nailed It. Richard Drake, who has Texas Hold'em. He's also the owner of Renter's Warehouse. So if you need property management. And then George Salas, who is their Airbnb influencer and specialist. And he is the go-to man in the Airbnb space. And we are, again, REI Wholesale Academy, where our niche is based in wholesaling, right? So it's based in wholesaling. That's not all we do. Just like I know Jason and Robert, I think they do a little bit of wholesaling. They do buy and hold. They're mostly about buy and hold and raising money and everything like that. And I think they do some wholesaling. Everybody in real estate, I think, has to have little pieces of everything else, at least in their tool belt, right? Because if you don't, you're missing out on some opportunities. So our niche is wholesaling, and that is our main foundation. I believe a good real estate business has a foundation of wholesaling, because you can't buy all the deals yourself. And if you're doing all this marketing and you're spending a lot of money on marketing and have a lot of resources, in your marketing channels, you have to have a way to recoup some of that money and just bring in cash off of those leads that you otherwise wouldn't. So we actually, wholesale most of the time, but we cherry pick the deals we want to buy. And we buy those with our partners, with our mastermind group, with our clients. And if you're interested in that, like I said, we recently, just in the past week or so, raised 220. I think maybe if this other investor comes in, 300 grand, $300,000 toward buying some of these properties that we're coming across right now. Because I started talking about this four house package we have on one lot near the new U of H Cougar football stadium downtown. I guess that's considered downtown, 3rd Ward, off Scott Street area over there. So I'm wanting to pick that up. We have another property that we just got in the Ponderosa Forest area that I think is going to be an awesome rental. We're selling that one for like 130, 135, 140, something like that. But we could pick that up and keep it as a rental instead of wholesaling it. Yeah, and we could wholesale it to ourselves. Actually, we do wholesale from one entity to the other. So my whole point in that is, just because if you're just wholesaling, or if you're wholesaling, doesn't mean that has to be your only niche, right? You can be doing buy and hold. You can be doing some new construction, because we're doing that too. We're building some fourplexes in some areas of town where we're picking up lots for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for these lots that we can build these fourplexes on. The construction of the fourplex is about, $85, $90 a square foot. Build these fourplexes at about 1,000 square feet per unit. So with that, we build these. Now, they're not for us to flip, and they're not going to bring us a lot of appreciation. They will appreciate, just because we're buying in such markets that are low right now, that are in transitional states, kind of like Sunnyside used to be a few years ago. When I started doing business in Sunnyside, nobody was out there. Nobody was talking about Sunnyside. Nobody wanted to be in that area. And now everybody's in that area. Everybody's buying. So I went and looked for a new niche that I see coming up relatively close to downtown. And what I found was Trinity Gardens, Cashmere Gardens. So that's where we're buying these lots and building these fourplexes. So we do new construction to build rental properties. We're doing a couple single families, but I really like the fourplex idea. We're buying some of these properties that we're wholesaling with our clients and partners to keep as rentals, like that 4-house package, and we're obviously raising money from our group and our friends and our partners in that fashion to purchase these properties. And we were doing that before this virus hit and everything. So we had a little bit of a head start. So that's good for us. But we are mainly, our main source is wholesaling, right? We cherry pick those deals because there's a lot of deals that we don't necessarily want. There's deals that are in areas that they may not be close to us. Like I was talking about a deal in Deer Park. Awesome deal. Great deal for a rental property. If I was closer to Deer Park, and those of you that are listening that aren't in the Houston area, I'm in Tomball, Cypress areas where I live, and I'll keep properties as far as Sunnyside, and that's a pretty good distance from my house and where I live. It's about 45 minutes to an hour away, depending on the traffic. Deer Park is even further than that. So it was a little further than I was willing to go, and that me and my partners want to go to have our properties in a distance, right? That's just our personal opinions, right? Or mine and Ceci's personal opinions, because we're the ones that decide what we're keeping and not, and we raise the money, and because we got to manage them. So that's what we're doing. We chose to do that, but everything is based off of wholesaling. Now, what I want to talk about right now is virtual wholesaling. So this is forcing a lot of people in the industry, and like I said, is we personally have been virtually, I guess you could say virtually wholesaling, because even when we had our office and everybody working from inside our office, we closed most of our deals virtually. We closed most of them over the phone. Now, we would go out and have people in the field that would go meet with people. We have our acquisition people in the streets that will go meet with the sellers and do the toe-to-toe thing, belly-to-belly thing, eye-to-eye thing for those sellers that needed that. But if we could, we close a lot of our deals on the phone without seeing the properties sight unseen. And then we, of course, like I said, we go out there and see them if we have to. But and this market is forcing other people. I see other wholesalers, other people in the market talking about how this has forced them to go virtual, and they're kind of liking it or kind of not liking it or having to get used to it. But it's relatively the same. You just got to make a few tweaks. But if you're virtually wholesaling in the same state or the same city or same county, why could you not virtually wholesale in other markets? And we've been touching on doing this in other markets such as North Carolina, Tampa, Philadelphia, where else? South Carolina, maybe. I can't remember exactly. But a few other markets, and I'm seeing other people starting to realize that too. So if you could do it locally, virtually, why can't you do it out of state or out of market, right? Because it all consists of the same stuff, right? You have to have your marketing place. So virtual wholesaling is, you need to understand and do your homework on your desired market. So if it's Tampa Bay or if it's Philadelphia or if it's Atlanta, you need to understand what is selling, what their comps are, what the areas of town. Like in Atlanta, you have Atlanta, the main part of the city, and then they have a lot of I think they're called their counties and whatever, all around. So you have to understand those different counties and understand those different areas. Kind of like in Houston, we have Katy, we have Central Houston, we have the Woodlands, we have Pearland, Pasadena, South Houston, all these areas that aren't necessarily considered Houston, but they're all in the Houston and surrounding areas. So all you have to do is understand your market, be able to have reliable comps, be able to pull accurate lists, and then make sure that you're marketing not only for not only for sellers, but for your buyers also. And that's that's the basis for having a virtual wholesale business, in-state, out-of-state, whatever market. So make sure you keep that in mind and don't limit yourself to just one city, one county. And again, I'm AC Ramos. This is REI Wholesale Academy. We are on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, and we'll be right back after this break. Okay, cool. Man, it's going fast. All right. Yeah, no, they said they need me out of here. Oh, so we still got time. But I'm pretty much ready whenever you're ready. 30 seconds. Awesome. Time flies when you're having fun. Because when you know you got to go back and be locked back up in the house, it's like, man, this is awesome. I'm out. I feel like a bird. I'm free. Out of my cage. Hey guys, welcome back to the REI Wholesale Academy on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hope y'all are having a good day, or a good night. I know this is airing at nighttime on 1070 a.m., The Answer. And if you're catching it on the live stream, hey, what's up? We're live right now, recording this in the daytime. We just talked about virtually wholesaling, understanding your market, having reliable comps, accurate lists, and marketing for sellers and buyers. Not just sellers, because you got to have people that are going to buy those deals, especially if you're not in the same city and you can't attend a networking event. And well, as of right now, you're not attending any networking events anyway. You're having to do everything from home. But there are other options that stem from your wholesaling business, right? So if you have a wholesaling business, you are able to cherry pick the deals, like I was saying. So we have rental properties that we picked up that were really good wholesale deals. We refied just like literally right before everything started hitting the fan and things started getting a little hectic and crazy. Ceci and I just refied a couple of properties. We did that for a couple of reasons. One, to free up some capital to pay off some stuff that we wanted to pay off and have some more cash to deploy into the market, because we got those deals at pretty good prices, and we didn't even refi them as much as we could. You know what I mean? Like I think they're both worth about $150,000 to $165,000, and I think one of them we owned free and clear with our own cash into it, and so we pulled out. I think we refied them both for like $85,000, $90,000. One, we had a hard money loan with Jet Lending, so we paid off our hard money loan. We paid off Jet, got them their money back. Thank you, Jet. So that way we give them their money back, and then we can go and use them for another, and we're using them for other deals. We can go and use them for another property to pick up, rehab it, and then refinance it into a long-term rental loan, right? That's one of the specialties Jet does. So we did that on one of the properties. The other one we owned free and clear. We didn't have any loans on it, so we were able to get that cash, pay off some stuff that we wanted to pay off on some other properties, and gives us some more cash to deploy out into some buy and holds or whatever we see fit, right? So that's the rental properties. We picked those rental properties up from our own wholesaling company. So on one of those properties, we picked it up for $17,000, wholesaled it to ourselves for $28,000. So we made $11,000 on the assignment fee from one of those properties, wholesaling it from our wholesaling company, which is Cityscape Home Buyers. So if you're interested in our wholesaling company, that's cityscapehomebuyers.com if you have a property you want to sell. And we wholesaled it to our holding company, right? Our construction, our rehab company, where we end up keeping and holding our rental properties, one of our LLCs that we hold rental properties in, which is White Light Holdings. So we sold it from Cityscape Home Buyers to White Light Holdings. So we made an $11,000 assignment fee on that property. So that is still wholesaling, right? We're still putting money in our pocket from a property that our one entity is putting money in the system, in the business that it never owned. It never had to take any risk on. Ceci and I are the holding company. We own the holding company. We are the ones that take in the risk, just like any other buyer that is to buy a property from us, right? So it's not that, we're just like another buyer. We actually blast out the deals to our list, see what the buyers are willing to pay, and if we're willing to match that, what they're willing to pay, or beat what they're willing to pay, we'll buy it and keep it as a hold for us, a rental property for us. And we do that using our partners and our group, and we pool money together, and we have, like I said, our money. We use it like that too. So we'll put everything together and we'll buy these properties with our partners, our students, our group, and hold on to these rentals. But Cityscape wholesaled it, right? They made the money without having to take any of the risk, right? And that goes right into that business, keeps that business's marketing money thriving, because whenever you make an assignment fee, about 20% gets put right back into marketing, right? Or it should be. If you're doing wholesaling, 20% of your assignment fee should go right back into your marketing. If you're like us, we have a team. Like I help the team a lot. I help negotiate. I help do all that stuff. But I'm not necessarily always the one talking to the seller. I'm not always the one doing the negotiating. I'm not always the one locking up the contracts personally anymore. I did it for years and years and years as a one-man show. I helped my team when we were really close and small when we were getting started. I still help our team now, even though we've grown and expanded and have acquisition reps that do everything. We have an acquisition manager that manages everybody, but everybody has to get paid off of that. So you got your 20% going to marketing. You got 10% going to your, if depending on how you have your business set up, you got 10 to 15% going to your acquisition person. You got 5% going to your acquisition manager, if that's the way you choose to run things. And then you have a closing coordinator. We have a closing coordination fee of $350 that is passed on to every buyer of every wholesale deal we have, even if we buy it ourselves. So that's how our transaction coordinator gets paid. So there's an ecosystem there, right, that everybody has to live off of, and that's off of the wholesale assignment fee. So Cityscape lives off of that assignment fee. And then as owners, we get dividends back at the end of the quarter, or however you choose to do it. You get your profit back that way, and you make money and put it in your pocket. Now, we buy and hold in White Light Holdings, our one of our holding companies. We actually have Axiom, another holding company. We have several. So when we hold this, we're able to put our money together, like I said, with our students, our mastermind group, everything, buy these properties. That is where the wealth is made, right? So you have to have other options, or there are other options. And if you're really thinking about it and focusing on building your business, you're not focused on one thing, right? So we got the wholesaling, we got the buy and hold, was where we build our wealth. So wholesaling makes quick cash. Holding builds wealth, because you can't eat equity. I don't care, how good paper tastes, or if you like it, you're not going to eat that note, right? But that's going to be your wealth for the future. Your 30, your 50,000 a deal in your net worth. And if you're rehabbing and flipping, that's your big chunks of cash, right? So we rehab for big chunks of cash. We have rentals for building our wealth, and we wholesale for building quick cash, for building cash reserves, and it's the quickest, fastest way to make money is wholesaling. So we do that for the cash. So those are some of the options that I personally believe should be part of your business, especially if you're mainly wholesaling right now. You need to start thinking about the future and growing and expanding that business into holding some properties, doing some flips, and expanding your horizons as a business, right? Not just being a wholesaler, expanding your business and expanding your horizons as an investor. So if you're interested in learning more about that, contact me on Facebook, AC Ramos. I'm on Facebook. Contact me on Instagram, AC_Ramos_. And we can get you involved with us. We can teach you and show you what we got going on. Matter of fact, we're going to be having a training coming up, I believe, on March 1st or March 2nd. I don't know if we've set the date on that, but if you contact support@prosperitygroup.com, support@prosperitygroup.com, we can get you more information about that, or text 832-216-2174, and I can get you some more information there too. And like I said, in our training, we'll be discussing some of these other options. We'll be discussing how you can build your business and expand your horizons from wholesaling into buy and hold rentals. And even if you're interested in the passive side of the business, let me know. I can share with you some techniques and tips on how you can do that. So again, I'm AC Ramos. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, and we are REI Wholesale Academy, and we'll see you after the break. Oh, man. put a little air conditioner in here. I need to get a little stand-up desk for right here. We could have a little stand-up desk right here so we could be... Come on, expand the budget, guys. Jason, Robert, come on, expand the budget. Get us a little stand-up desk in here. And an air conditioner.
Yeah, I was about to say, we might do that at the new office.
Oh, did they... Huh?
Did you see the Facebook Live yesterday of the new office?
You know what's funny? No, I know. I was actually, there was a wholesaler that was trying to sell that building before, and I was talking to a partner of mine about buying it a while back. My office used to be on the other side of the freeway from right there.
Really?
But it didn't work out. Like, the wholesaler wanted too much money, I think, but they ended up being able to get it directly without, when the wholesaler's contract ran out and everything, so they got a way better price. But yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Center.
The
That's what he's calling it. Center.
Mr. Texas Real Estate Center.
I think it's huge.
Yeah. The Mr. Texas Real Estate Activity Center. They're going to have a basketball court?
I was like, hell yeah, let's put a fucking gym in it.
I was going to say put a gym, little indoor basketball court. At least one of those little mini, I got in my office, I got like the little mini basketball goals. So I got 2 of them so we can actually have a little full court. Man, we could just put some of those in there and have a little mini basketball court. Rock it out, man. This is the final section, huh?
Yeah. Going live in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to REI Wholesale Academy on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We just talked about some of the other options you have in real estate, right? Buying rentals, stemming from your wholesale business, right? Because that's our main topics here is about wholesaling and how to build your wholesale business. So being able to pick up rentals, being able to generate passive investors to be able to fund your rentals and fund your flips, everything like that. Also being able to get into creative financing, the subject twos, that kind of stuff. You need to learn those other options to expand your business, right? But as a wholesaler, how are the ways that you're able to get in contact? How are you able to build your wholesaling business, right? Because if we're saying that the rentals and the flips and all of these aspects of business revolve and stem off of your wholesaling business, how are you finding these deals to cherry pick? How are you building this pipeline, right? Because we said, pipelines equal profit, right? So if your pipeline equals profit, whether you're wholesaling, like we said, we wholesale to ourselves from one entity to another. And just on those 2 rentals we refied last week, back 6 months ago when we first picked them up, we wholesaled them to ourselves. One we made $11,000 on. The other one, I think we made $10,000 on. So on those 2 deals right there, we made like $21,000 in wholesale assignment fees. Not to mention that they're both worth about 155, 165, 150 at the lowest, easy, 150 to 165 on both those properties, and we refied them both for like $85,000, $90,000, right around the same price because we didn't want to pull all the equity out. But with that being said, at $90,000, one's worth $150, so we got like $60,000 in equity still there. The other one $165, so we got like $75 in equity there. So we built up that equity, and that all stemmed from our wholesaling business. How are we finding these deals? How are we able to build our pipeline to be able to find these deals for our rehab business, for our rental portfolio? Well, this comes down to your marketing, right? And right now we've been talking about like how is COVID-19, how is the crisis that's going on right now with the virus and the market going down and taking a big downturn. What are some of the marketing avenues? Well, one, and you if you're a wholesaler and you've been marketing for a little while, you've been putting marketing dollars into your business already, this is very important for you. Follow up. Because there are a lot of sellers right now that are going to be motivated that were not motivated 3 months, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe even 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, right? I know another investor who said they picked up 4 contracts just in the past week or so from sellers who told them no recently. Like within the past month or so, the seller told them no, we're not interested in selling. go stuff your yellow letter or go take your cold call somewhere else or whatever they told them. They were not motivated. They weren't having it. But now all of a sudden, they're willing to hear the offer. They're willing to talk to you, and they actually locked up these contracts, right? So if you're a wholesaler or an investor that has wholesaling as part of your business, one of the ways and one of the main ways that you've already spent money on to build up some of these deals in your pipeline is going back and talking to these sellers, right? Go back and follow up. Now how you follow up is up to you. You know, if you've got a small amount of follow-ups, you could call everyone individually. Cold call them, or they're not really cold calling no more because they're in your system. Call them and do follow-up calls with them. Maybe doing a text blast to them if you have a good amount of them, and you might not be able to get to all of them, individually. Do a text blast and contact them that way. A text blast is where you're just using a service to be able to text message people in groups, right? And there's a company out there called Stratix Network that you can use that has a text blasting platform you can use. So you can do that for the text blasting. There's also ringless voicemails. So on ringless voicemails, this is where if you've ever received a voicemail on your phone and you didn't hear the phone ring and you're doing whatever you're doing, and then all of a sudden you get a message and it says missed call, voicemail, whatever it says on your phone, and you listen to it and it's like, hey, this is so-and-so, I was trying to get a hold of you, blah, 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 calling you about your property, 1, 2, 3, or hey, calling to see if you're interested in healthcare or whatever it is. I get those things all the time. I never understood what it was, and I was like, how did I miss this call? I didn't even hear the phone ring until I started using this in our business last year, where it's called ringless voicemails. It's where, so for us, what we do is when we're doing our marketing of any kind, so cold calling is one way we build up our pipeline. Text messaging is another way we build up our pipeline. Ringless voicemails is another way we build up our pipeline. And then some direct mail. We used to do mainly direct mail. We've shifted our business a lot because of the times have changed a little bit, right? So if you're already doing marketing and you're for us at least, we're pulling a list. So we'll decide. We go and research markets. So for us, we divided the whole city of Houston up like a pie. So we divided the whole city of Houston up like a pie, in slices. And each slice has, 2,000 to 5,000, I'm not going to say 2,000 to 5,000 motivate or sellers in that section because it depends on what type of list you're pulling. So on absentee, out of state, or absentee owners with some equity, that's kind of our main bread and butter list that we go to. Absentee owners that are not necessarily just out of state. We do just absentee owners that have equity. And then sometimes we niche it down to where we're just doing out of state absentee owners or whatever the case may be. But to have more numbers and have more people to contact and mail to, call to, voicemail drop to, we do absentee owners with at least 40% equity, right? 40, 50% equity in their property. So we know they could possibly be motivated because obviously they have equity. They've either put money down, they have room to play with, right? So we go and pull these lists, right? We'll do it all by zip code in these pie sections that we section off to. You can pick your zip codes any way you want. We pull these lists by zip codes. I said, again, we're looking for mostly absentee owners with some equity. So we pull that list. Once we get that list, and we pull those lists from multiple places, listsource.com. We have our website, Prosperity Dashboard, that is a software that we use and our students and our mastermind group use to pull lists. So once we have that list, we take it over and skip trace it. And you can find skip tracing companies. We use reiskip.com to skip trace most of our lists. And then there's Skip Genie. There's a lot of different skip tracing companies out there. But we get the list, we skip trace it. Now that we've skip traced it, we can input it into our dialer, which we use Mojo Dialer right now. Mojo Dialer is a 3-line dialer, dials out 3 numbers at a time. So we can import that list into Mojo Dialer for cold calling. We can import that list into Stratix Networks for ringless voicemail drops. And then you can also, most of the time when we're doing text messaging to those lists, whatever acquisition person is assigned that section of our list, they are manually texting from their phone to these sellers to see if they're motivated enough to talk to us, right? So we're cold calling, text messaging, ringless voicemail drops, and doing all of those at the same time is how you build your pipeline, right? Again, pipeline equals profit. And so for us, if an acquisition person is calling the list 1 week, so they'll call it 1 week, the next week they'll voicemail drop it, the third week they'll text message it, and then we'll follow up with direct mail. So guys, if you're not building your pipeline, that's exactly how you should do it. This has been an awesome show. Thank you for tuning in. This is REI Wholesale Academy. I'm AC Ramos, and we are on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. See you guys.